Hello, first grade. How are you? Mr. Lopazzo, coming to you from my art basement again. I want to thank all of you for sending me your Egyptian bats. I'm not going to lie, those things were amazing. I mean, I got some incredible Egyptian bats. It's not an easy drawing, but you guys, I mean, they were amazing. Probably my favorite drawing. Don't tell any other grade levels this. But the bats that I got last week were probably my favorite ones that I got all week from all the grades. They were unbelievable. So this week we're going to try something a little bit different. What I mean by that is, I found this really cute little picture of a little mouse/rat. And what's cool about this is, because it's just kind of like a random drawing, it's not like a certain cartoon character where you're like, okay, that doesn't look just like, you know, Snoopy, or it doesn't look just like SpongeBob or something. This is just a random little rat mouse. So you can't mess it up even if you try. So we're going to do this together. I don't know if that looks easy or hard, but I found it not that difficult to draw because we're going to do basic shapes and stuff. And it doesn't really matter if his head's bigger than this or his ears are smaller. It doesn't matter because it's not supposed to be a specific character. It's just a random little adorable little picture that I found online. So we're going to do that together, okay? So I'm going to erase this, and we're going to get started. You're going to want to turn your paper vertical today, up and down. Obviously, he is much taller than he is wide. You're going to need a pencil, and you are definitely going to need an eraser. Not because I think you're going to make a bunch of mistakes, and maybe you will. But we're going to draw with some basic shapes, so even if we don't make any mistakes, we are still going to be doing erasing regardless. Just because we're going to be overlapping things and stuff like that. So pencil, eraser, and of course paper. Now we're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw his head. And I'm going to start with a nice big circle. And like I said, we're going to be erasing about 50% of that circle. So you want to make sure you draw lightly. This circle is going to be toward the top of the paper. Not all the way to the top because he has two nice big ears up there, but certainly in the top portion of the paper. And right about in the middle. Right about in the middle. Draw a nice circle. Mine's a little bit to the right, but that's okay. He has a big old snout coming out the left side, so if you're a little bit over to the right, that's probably actually okay. That'll be fine. Now, the next thing I'm going to do are his eyes. He has very big eyes. So the first one's going to go right about in the middle of my circle. It's going to be a nice big circle. That looks a little weird right now, but don't worry about it. We made a donut. I hope you're happy. Right next to that one, just barely touching it, I'm going to make an eye. Now you're going to notice that that might be a little too big. This eye is going outside of our head. And that's what we want. So you can already tell there's something we have to erase already. And that's going to be the part of the head that's going through our second eye. So that we can see both eyes beautifully. Inside of those two circles, I'm going to draw two more big circles. These are his pupils. And usually we don't make pupils this big. But our little friend has very large pupils. We've now made 3 donuts. I'm getting hungry. Now, inside those pupils, we want to do a little reflection. So up in this corner, I'm going to draw a pretty good sized circle. And even though I don't usually color things in, I usually wait until the end to do that. With this one, I am going to color them in black. Now, if you plan on doing this with markers or colored pencils or something, you can leave it. You don't have to color it in with your pencil, because a lot of markers and crayons don't go over pencil. If it's just going to be a pencil drawing, you can color it in. If it's going to be color, you're going to want to wait. I'm going to color mine in just because I want you to see that reflection, what it's going to look like. Just so you can get an idea of maybe you need to fix your eyes or your eyes are perfect the way they are. So now you can see what I mean. He looks sad, but don't worry, we're going to put a smile on him. Okay? Now we're going to give him 2 nice big ears. We've done lots of circles so far. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far all we've done is 7 circles. See how easy this is? Now I'm going to do 4 more. We're going to make 11 circles before we make anything else. Up on top of his head over on this side, I'm going to do a nice big circle. And then around that is another nice big circle. You can make these ears as big as you want. You can actually make them twice the size I did. I think it would look great. Now, in this line right here that's inside the ear, I'm going to erase some of that. Because when I do that, it will make the ear look like it's attached to the head more than if I just kept the line there. I'm not erasing the whole line, just most of it that's inside that smaller circle I'm going to erase. But I'm going to leave the rest of it. And then I'm going to hop over here just a bit, and I'm going to do another ear. You want to try to keep them about the same size. Which I did not do. That's okay. You can see that that circle is smaller than that one. For me, I'll leave it. I'm going to do my second circle, and if it bothers me, I can always erase it. But I'm not sure yet. So now my second one's going to go around the outside just like that one. And I'm going to leave it. Now you'll notice that my ear touched my eye. And that's a good thing. We want that. We actually want that. You know what? I can fix just part of it. How's that? So you can see that on this ear, both of my lines touch my eye. And that's what I want. We want both of these two. They start on the head, these 2 lines, and then when they come around, they're going to hit the eye. Mine's not exactly a circle, but I think it looks fine. Now we're going to do his snout, so hopefully you have some room over here on the left side of your paper. I'm going to start right about there. You can see I'm a little outside the head, and I'm touching the eye. So that line's actually coming from the eye, not the head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a little bit on a slant, not far. And then I'm going to go out. I'm not going to go all the way to the end because I have a nose to put on there. So I might as well do the nose right now, just so I can see if I have enough room. It's a very big oval. A nice big oval attached right to the end of the snout. And you can get as close to the side of the paper as you want. Let me just make sure. Oh yeah, we can see that real good. Okay, now I'm going to come to the bottom of the nose, not the middle. I want both. I want this line at the top of my oval, and I want this line at the bottom of my oval, right about there. So I'm going to go over toward my head, and right about when I get between my 2 eyes, I'm going to curve up. Just like that. So over, and then curve up, and as you can see, I'm going inside the head. And I'm actually almost past my second eye. Now, we want to put a little curved line right there, like his little cheek, the little edge of his mouth. Now he looks happy. Now you're gonna need to grab your eraser because we're gonna erase this line right here. I told you we were erasing a lot of the head. We're gonna erase that part of the head right there. Stop when you get to the mouth, so we'll get rid of all that. So now it looks a little bit more like a mouse or a rat than it does a bunch of donuts. We're going to do a nice oval reflection to match the oval nose. Again, if you're going to be coloring this in with something later, markers, crayons, color pencils, whatever, you're not going to want to do this part. But if you're just going to do a pencil drawing, you can actually color that in and leave the reflection on the nose. When you leave the reflection, it makes it look like it's a shiny surface and the light is bouncing off it, which is the case with our pupils and our shiny little black nose. Now the head looks wonderful. So now let's do the rest of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right over here to the side of my head. Right there. It's about the furthest part on my head. I'm a little underneath the ear, but I'm not touching the ear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I'm going to curve in a little bit. Not a lot. I'm just curving in a little bit to the left. And then as I go down, I'm going to start to come out. So it's kind of like down, in a little, out a little. It's slightly curved. It's not a crazy roller coaster. Now, just to give you an idea, where this line ends, that's almost the bottom of your drawing. So if you're saying, Mr. Paz, I'm running out of paper down here, it doesn't matter. I'm almost at the bottom of my entire drawing right there. So that's the whole length of his body, from the side of the head right to not the bottom of his feet, but almost the bottom of his feet. So you can go as long as you want with that line because you don't need a lot of paper under that line. But that's the back edge of his body. Now I'm going to do the front edge of his body. So we're going to come right over here, right about where my finger is, right where our snout started to go uphill, right there. That's where my next line is going to be. So it's going to slant in. That's his neck. If you want his neck skinnier, you can keep going in. If you want his neck wider, then you make this line go more down than in like I did. Completely your call. I'll erase a little of mine like that. How's that? Now this line, from the end of that little short line, is going to be a line that curves out and down, and I would say roughly about where your other line ended. So there's his belly, there's his back, his neck. If you want to make it wider, you certainly can, which I think I'm going to do. I want to give him a little bit bigger belly. There we go, that's better. Okay? Now, grab your eraser because we're going to erase more of the head. So now, see that line right there? We don't need that line. So pretty much from his mouth all the way up to the back of his head. So now it's one nice big piece. So we erased about 50% of the head. I told you. Now we're going to do his upper arms, which are very small. So they're going to start not much lower than the neck right here. There's the neck. I want to move down here. It's not in the middle, it's a little bit to the right. And we're just going to do two short lines. You'll notice the one on the right's a little bit lower. That's because my next two lines are going to be going this way. Down, over. And you'll see that my left one now is a little bit longer. So the one on the right, I'm just going to go straight down. Okay. And then over here, it's just going to curve around and attach. So down, slant over. That one goes straight down. This one curves around. And that's his little paw. And we'll do a couple little curved lines, show his little toes, or little fingers, toes. And I'm going to hop over here on the other side. I can't see the arm on this side, but I can see his little paw peeking out. You can see his paw peeking out from the other side, but not the arm. It's behind the body, we can't see it. If we can't see it, we don't draw it. Okay. Now I'm going to come up here. His belly is a different part, different color than the rest of his body. So for the belly, I'm going to come just below the neck. I'm going to draw a little skinny line that kind of curves down, touches his arm. And I'm going to hop under the arm. And I'm going to keep going down. It's going down just a teeny tiny bit lower than his paw. Just a speck. And then I'm going to do a nice big curved line right here. And this is going to be his back leg. Okay? Nice big back leg. When animals sit down, their hip kind of pops out. So he's kind of in the seated position. So that's his back leg right there. Now, from the bottom of this line that I just made, I'm going to draw his foot. And his foot is going to come out past the belly and then down. So this one goes up, over, down, out, down. And then I'm going to go all the way back. Notice I'm below this line. If these two lines touch, you can just erase this back a little bit because we need a little space there. And I'm going to go almost to the end of my paper. And I'm going to curl up. And I'm going to make his tail. And that tail can go in whatever direction you want. It could be straight, it could be curly. Mine's a little wavy, a little wiggly. So around and then wherever you want it to go. And then down here, I'm going to start the other side of the tail. Now, the tail is going to be wider at the bottom, and it's going to get smaller at the top. So I'm going to make it wide here. And as I go up, I'm going to get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And then it's the top. So you can see this is all open right here. From the leg to the tail. It's all open, wide, thinner, 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 thinner. And down here on the foot, we'll do a couple little toes, just like we did up here in the paws. And then just like this hand was peeking out, this foot's going to be peeking out too. So I've got a foot peeking out from the other side. With a couple little toes on that one too. And if you want, you could do some little details on the tail. Totally up to you. And that's it. Do whatever kind of background you want. I don't know, maybe there's like a piece of cheese or something. I didn't do a piece of cheese on my first one, but you know what? Whatever. Maybe there's a little piece of cheese. Up to you. Whatever you want to draw. And that's it. Our little rat mouse is done. I have no idea what colors to tell you because the drawing that I found online was just a little black and white little pencil drawing. So you can get as creative as you want. You can put pink inside the ears and you can make his belly a lighter color and his body a darker color. If he's a rat, you can make a pink tail. Go crazy. Do whatever colors you want. If you're going to color it in, right? That's always the option. If you want to color it in. And don't forget, I want to see my little rat mouse friend. So you want to make sure that you send them to me. M. Del Pozzo, DELPOZZO, at Germantown, CSD.org. I definitely want to check him out. Another drawing, done. Don't forget to send them to me because I love it. I love to see those messages come in. And I say, oh, here comes another drawing. And I love to check them out, right? And I look at them really careful. And then I give you some good feedback back to you. And then we do it all over again. Stay safe. Have fun outside. The weather's getting nice. And I'll see you next time.